Most people don't realize this, but your brain has been lying to you about why you treat your birthday like a normal day. You've labeled it as being humble. You've called it not wanting the drama. But the harsh truth? You aren't avoiding the party. You're avoiding the audit. You're terrified of the one day a year where the universe asks, what have you actually done with your life? Psychologists call this temporal self-comparison, and once you understand it, you'll see why you act the way you do every year on this date. Your birthday is the only day where time becomes loud. For 364 days, you can pretend you're standing still, but on this day, the clock screams. This isn't just about a cake or a party. Your confidence, your career anxiety, and your deepest fears about being enough are all being triggered by this one 24-hour window. But here's where it gets even worse. Most people stop here and think it's just birthday blues or being an introvert. That's the biggest mistake. This goes back to the very foundation of how you were raised to value yourself. Here is the painful part. If you hate your birthday, it's often because you have a receiving wound. Psychology says people don't avoid gifts because they're minimalists. They avoid them because they don't feel worthy of unconditional attention. If you grew up in an environment where your needs were seen as a burden, your brain learned a survival rule. To be safe, be low maintenance. On your birthday, when people try to celebrate you, it triggers a debt response. You don't feel loved, you feel indebted. You feel like you owe the world a performance of gratitude that you don't have the energy to give. Staying in the normal day shadows is your way of staying out of social debt. And this next part explains why your life hasn't changed yet, because while you think you're being strong by not needing anyone, you're actually practicing your own disappearance. This happens because your brain is a survival machine that uses milestones to track your value. When you see a birthday candle, your subconscious doesn't see a wish, it sees a progress bar. Psychologists find that birthdays trigger a masterpiece versus reality gap. You have a version of yourself in your head who is supposed to be further along by now. By treating the day as normal, you're trying to stop the clock. If the day isn't special, then the fact that you haven't reached your goals doesn't hurt as much. You're literally gaslighting your own timeline to protect yourself from the disappointment of not being perfect yet. But the reality, by training yourself to be a background character on the one day that is technically yours, you are training yourself to be a background character in your entire life. You are waiting for a perfect version of you to arrive before you allow yourself to be seen. The fix isn't throwing a massive party you'll hate. The fix is accepting that you are allowed to take up space without having to earn it. You don't need to be a masterpiece to be worth a pause in the calendar. So, I have to ask, are you actually a normal day person, or are you just tired of the pressure of being alive? Drop a normal in the comments if you've been hiding from the clock, and let's talk about why we're so afraid to just exist.